So we're going to be taking a look at the Rebel 10-year, even though our 10-year is actually almost 15 years old.
This is a single barrel as well.
It's a single barrel. It says it's labeled as a 10-year. It has a crest that says 10-year, but it was bottled or barreled in February of 06. So this is literally an almost 15-year. It was in the barrel probably 14 years.
Yeah, about that.
And the first time, this is our second time trying this, me and Logan here, and it was a fucking oak bomb the first time.
It tasted like you were licking an oak table, man. It tastes like you were licking a finished oak table. It was that oaky.
And at that time, we also didn't realize it was a 14-year. We thought it was actually a 10.
We thought, yeah.
And then he noticed later that it's a 14. But now that we've let it open up for, a couple months now?
Yeah, it's been open for about 2 months.
It's mellowed out for sure. That smells so good.
No ethanol whatsoever. Fruit, butterscotch, toffee, caramel, vanilla. I actually get a little bit of peanut, hazelnut, or cashew. Like there's definitely some like dry mixed nuts in there.
Let's get a little raisin. I'd say more than fruit.
Yeah, dried fruit is a good way to put it.
Dried fruit.
Like
dried
fruit, raisins. Yes. Yeah, no, if anything, that's the fruit is dried fruit. It's not like a cherry.
Like a dried cranberry or dried raisin.
Yeah.
That's what this smells like.
Not remotely close to the fresh cherry and like lively fruit note of Buffalo Trace. This is all.
Or like any of the sweeter wheat stuff. Mm-hmm. This is not a sweet wheat. This is definitely. This is just a weird.
This is a man's weird.
And what's the proofage on this?
100 proof.
100.
Everything from Rebel Yell is either 86, 80 or 100, yeah.
I was gonna say you want to fuck up about a side by side. This and 100 proof Rebel Yell.
Oh, that mellowed out tremendously.
Whoa.
Oh man.
Whoa.
Oak, leather, tobacco.
I'm getting a lot of nut. Like
a lot of
pistachio, cashew. Lighter roasted nuts.
Pistachio and cashew are the best way to put it because it's not peanut. This is not a.
It's not peanut at all. It tastes like lighter.
It's a tree nut kind of.
Yes, because it's not Jim Beam peanut. Jim Beam peanut is such an iconic taste, and this is not it whatsoever.
This is not it at all. And you can't if you're looking for peanut flavor, this will not be for you. This is very different.
I also get maple because it's not sweet, but like it has like a maple note to it.
For sure.
And obviously a little bit of brown sugar, but there's no caramel. There's no.
Take the whole tree and throw it in here. You got it. Got the oak. You got its nuts. You got its sap. You got all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is not sweet at all, but mine is like a little bit of maple.
It almost has a little bit of the sweetness, but that's definitely the maple.
It's maple and vanilla. Like it's like.
And it's got a pleasant finish that's warm, but it doesn't. And I don't even want to say it doesn't last long. The warmth stays when the rest of the finish goes away.
With how much oak is in it, you expect it to be tannic at the end, and there is not tannic at all.
There's zero tannic.
If you buy this bottle, let it open up because this is phenomenal. The oak pour is the neck pour. Yeah, the neck pour is going to be oak. The oak pour is going to be neck. Whatever. The same thing.
Yeah, the neck pour will taste like you're licking a fucking oak table, but after that, let it sit for a month. This turns into a beautiful oaky bourbon that, honestly,
patience pays off, and this is a definite example of letting it sit.
Whenever I had the neck pour, I questioned whether it was worth the price point that I paid on it.
It was $69.99 in Pennsylvania. I don't know offhand what the MSRP is. I don't know how close that is. I want to say the MSRP is like in the 50s. Maybe low 60s.
Yeah, no, MSRP is $70 now.
Oh, is it?
$69.99 is MSRP for this now.
Okay.
But so,
and I'd say after letting it open up, it's definitely worth it.
Especially compared to its competition. Like its competition again is Baker's single barrel, Blanton's single barrel. I guess you could technically throw Eagle Rare in the mix, but Eagle Rare is like
Eagle Rare is different.
It is. It's meant to be a cheaper bourbon because it is a cheaper bourbon.
It's 10-year, but it's not. They don't do anything special to it.
Yeah.
It's the run-of-the-mill bourbon aged longer. This is meant to be something
This is a
completely different than their regular stuff.
This is a single barrel where they wanted the oak to be the mainstay of the bourbon, and it is.
Consider the fact that the next highest is the 100 proof at $20.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're talking a $50 jump, and you definitely taste the $50 jump.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and like
And
I know, like
the Rebel Yell 100 is good. It's good for the price. But this is, when you think of a good high-end bourbon, they made a good one.
Yeah, and like like personally, like I'd be wary, spending $70 on a bottle whenever,
Especially when the rest of the stuff
the
is
only other
done
two,
cheap.
yeah, the only other two are Rebel Yell and Rebel Yell 100, which are the 12 to
Garbage and cheap, good for the price.
yeah, garbage and like mediocre for $20. I'd be wary, but this blew my expectations out of the water.
I hesitated thoroughly whenever I was looking at this bottle, and I said, you know what? I have
We
money.
like Weeders.
It's COVID. I like Weeders. Fuck it. Let's do it. And I was disappointed.
At first, we were scared that it was not worth it, and I even said, let it sit. I bet you it's gonna turn better.
And it did.
And it I'd say more than turned better. This turned really good. It's definitely worth the money.
It turned out exactly the same way Knob Creek 12 Year did. Knob Creek 12 Year had a super oaky, not sweet beginning, and then I let it open for about a month, and I sipped it, and I'm like, this is a completely different bourbon. This is my favorite bourbon that
This
I've ever
is
had.
not what we tried 2 months ago.
No, not even remotely close.
I wish I had a chance to try the neck pour and see
Right.
what you guys are talking
It's
about.
so like
This blew my expectations out of the water.
Like
seeing Rebel Yell
I will just say, you don't even need to have tried it. Literally, lick an oak table, and that is 100% what the taste was. Like that's not an exaggeration.
What was the most tannic thing that we've had so far tonight?
Bland's.
I'd say that Blanton's is definitely.
Triple the tannins in that blends, and then all of these flavors at the front end, and then
But then the back end was all
all
oak.
tannin. All tannin and all tannin.
Oh shit, okay.
Like, it
And
was...
that's why I was hopeful was the flavor was there, but it was.
There was so much tannin.
You could tell it needed air. You could tell it needed to sit. And I'd say we were right. It definitely needed to sit, and it turned into this. This is, I mean,
It's wonderful now.
I'd pay another $70 for this. I'd pay
Oh, I
$70
would.
for this in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah. Like, this is my single barrel of choice now. Like, as much as I love Jim Beam products, I still think I would pick this over
Like an Knob Creek
Baker's.
single barrel. Or
Oh, I don't know about a Knob Creek single barrel. Like, some Knob Creek single barrels are fucking...
fair.
But
But over
Baker's...
the Bakers, it's designed to be their signature single barrel.
Yeah, because, like, Knob Creek single barrel is $50. You get some really good shit for Knob Creek single barrel for $50.
Can I just add, the more that I let it sit in the glass, the pistachio and cashew
Yeah,
kind of flavors
absolutely.
stand out so much more as it goes.
They really do.
That is so. I love it.
This is really good.
And as much as as much as I love sweet bourbons, the nutty, savory, buttery flavors of this bourbon are just
It
absolutely
makes it.
wonderful.
It makes it.
Absolutely.
And like, if I wanted something that wasn't super sweet, like say a double oak or a Maker's Mark, this is what I would go with.
Right. This is, yeah, if you don't want sweet, but you want flavorful, you want savory, you want the exact opposite, but not in a bad way, this is exactly what
Because this isn't spicy either. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not.
there was, it didn't smell like it was going to be spicy, it doesn't taste spicy, the finish wasn't spicy, there's very little spice in this, it's so much nut and it's so much sweet flavor.
And
There's
that,
sweet, like the flavors from something sweet, but
The
not
maple.
sweetness.
The maple.
The maple.
it's like maple, but not maple syrup.
Right.
But it's one of those things
It's like
where,
you're looking at a maple table.
But this is like a perfect example of what a weeder does. A weeder does not add any spice whatsoever. Like,
Right.
I don't
it
know.
adds that sweet.
It adds the mapley sweetness. It doesn't add a whole lot of spice. The only super spicy weeder that I have had is Weller with the cinnamon bark.
Right,
I
and
think
that
that's-
definitely is because
That's more the wood than it is like the.
right. That's you got to look at who's making that. You
Yeah.
got to look at the fact that that's Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
product. and that their barrels and what they're doing with it definitely has play.
Oh yeah, no. Buffalo Trace makes some of the spiciest bourbons like there are.
But here you are. I mean, Rebel Yell makes some good cheap stuff and some crappy cheap stuff, and then turns around and makes one of the better
single barrel offers. Yeah, like
and definitely I'd say. As much as, and granted, we're talking price range is a little different here, and the fact that this is a 10-year and the Weller's definitely not a 10-year, this blows anything by Weller I've had out of the water.
That being said, we have not had Full Proof or William LaRue Weller.
This is true. So we can't, and what are the odds we're going to have it? Anytime soon.
I don't know, man. Like, if
this was easier to find.
If I win the lottery, the first thing I'm buying is George T. Stagg and William LaRue Weller. I'm just saying that right now. If I win the lottery, I'm paying off all my debts, and those are the first two things I'm buying after that.
I'm buying a fuck ton of cars, and then I will fill out the bourbon collection. But
I'm gonna buy a brand new car, go drive and buy some bourbon, and buy another new car and go buy more bourbon.
I'm gonna fill the frunk of my 911 with a fuck ton of bourbon.
But honestly, if I could give this more than a 10 out of 10, I probably would.
Yeah, honestly, this is a 10 out of 10 for me. This is there's nothing I.
This might be one of the better ones that we've tasted.
Absolutely.
Here.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, tonight this is probably one of the best things we taste tonight.
For sure.